Well, I'm at Wendy's, and guess what? They're closing stores. So today we're going to go over why and maybe how you can fix it and why people stopped going there. Because I used to go there in the early 2000s all the time because they had great hamburgers, was pretty decently priced. And now this year they said we're closing 140 stores. Now they said, oh, we're closing another 100, so that makes it 240 stores closure in total this year. And when you read the statements that they said, oh, they had a conference call, and they said, hey, we're closing all the stores that are underperforming because they're outdated. So then I was like, is it really that they're outdated, or is it something else? I kind of went down the rabbit hole of why these stores are closing. And this isn't necessarily only about Wendy's, this can be about DQs and all these other stores. And so I kind of asked AI. So that's always how I kind of love to do my searches. And I asked them why. And so the first thing was that they said there were boycotts. And I was like, I didn't really know about that. So they said some people have boycotted Wendy's since 2016 because the company has not signed up for a program that would improve the rights of agriculture workers. Some say that Wendy's should do more to protect farm workers from sexual assault, forced labor, and other human rights violation. I have not heard that one before till today. So let me know if you heard about it and if that's why you stopped going. So now this is where I stopped going, and this is my reason, so let me know. So service. Some say that service at Wendy's is poor and the employees seem to be uninterested in their jobs. So this is a huge one because what I always tell is there needs to be three things for everything for a business to kind of be profitable: good location, good customer service, and a good product. And when you have good customer service, that kind of ruins the product. And then even if you have a good location, because obviously they're right next to the freeway, they have really, really good locations. So now I looked at it and it's like, hey, customer service is key in this business, right? Because even though it's fast food, if you do not deliver on your promise on getting good customer service, then you're just another burger joint. And when I look at who does burgers excellent, it's In-N-Out. And they got it down. They got customer service down. And now I challenge you to find me a Wendy's in your location that has above 4-star ratings. Why? Because all the Wendy's in my location around here have about a 3-point-something stars. And a lot of them, when you read through the reviews, are saying that customer service is poor, that the hamburgers aren't cooked nicely, like they're not presented nicely. And even though it's fast food, it's at a price point now where stuff matters and the attention to detail matters. Because even though we're like, hey, it's fast food, we still like a certain amount of quality and we still like it to be presented in some certain amount. Or if they're gonna go all crazy, they can just put the hamburger in a blender and just blend it up and serve it to you as a frappe. But we still like to have it nicely presented, right? And not just, here, get your shit and get out. Because that's another way of just doing it. Like, hey, get your shit and get out. But then the prices have to be reflecting of it, right? And then it's like, okay, if I pay like almost no money for a hamburger and customer service isn't good at all, then I kind of can deal with it. But the prices are just not there anymore. And so when I look at In-N-Out, and you can see the reviews on the screen, they are nailing it. So now, how do you solve it? Well, the first thing to solving a problem is actually knowing that there is one, right? Because there's probably so many layers at Wendy's that the information from your field workers, from the boots on the ground to the top, isn't going to come through. Because even though they say, oh, we have open door policies and all that, nobody at the bottom level is going to say, hey, we should really change this and give you good feedback on top, because they're not making enough and it's not in their best interest. And so what happens is they have the store managers, then the regional, then the district managers, or something crazy that records to the regional office over here, and then it kind of moves up the chain. And you've played the telephone game before, right? Where somebody says something and then 4 or 5 people down the road there was a completely different name or a different whatever it was, right? So the further up it gets, the nicer the message gets, right? And so the further down it gets, the worse the message gets, right? So it's like, okay, we got to fix that. And so how do we fix it? Well, you fix it with hiring people and getting them to finding out who your target hire is, right? So let's say, hey, we're going to focus on college students and actually give them good benefits. We'll pay for their college, we'll do things. And so then we'll grab them out of college. So they have somewhat of a college degree, They're doing that. And that's how kind of you can figure out who your target hire is, right? So it's not just that you want to hire people that are out of college or whatnot. You got to figure out how can you preserve the brand? Because like I said in my other videos before, one of the key things that people forget is people, if they have a bad experience at your shop, they're not going to say John Doe served me bad. No, it's Wendy served me bad. And if you wear the hat of Wendy's and you're a Wendy's employee and you allow bad customer experience, then your brand is getting damaged by the day. And then all of a sudden, it's like we're gonna close thousands of stores because a little bit of bite here, a little bit of bite there, and all of a sudden, the whole way down the line, you have bad experiences and people don't go back. And even if you decrease prices at that point, it doesn't matter because your core customers aren't coming back. So you got to figure out, how do you get good customer service? How do you get these people? And maybe it is like, hey, and this is one of the things that I think we're going to see more of is, hey, let's have you do some of these questions, these psychology evaluation questions. And I'm not talking about, are you a psychopath or something else? It's like, hey, what is more important to you? And you click it on a computer. Is it having a happy customer or making an extra dollar? So then you can see, and then you kind of have it like, okay, this person is more advocate for customer service, so we can hire it because they can take $1 loss if you'll come back and then spend another $10, $15 there, because then they're going to make it up. But if they're going to get a bad experience, if you're going to have a bad experience there, and you're like, I'm not going to go there, then they lost out on a repeat customer. And so I'd rather take a hit on $1 today for you to come back tomorrow in a few days and actually say, hey, they gave me a discount or something, or they remade it for me and they kicked in something. So they lost $1, but they'll make up 4 or 5 on the next time. And this is what they're lacking of, the vision and bringing it down from the top to the bottom level, because they got all these, we have pizza parties, we have all these other things, and that isn't gonna help the brand. Even though you think that it's like, hey, we treat our employees nice, we'll give them free college. Well, if you hire people in their 30s and 40s or in their 50s to work at fast food, they might not be interested in saying, hey, I'm gonna wanna go to college. That's just something that they might not be interested. So you gotta really know who is your target hire. So let's go down the list, how you can fix it. So now, some say that food at Wendy's is bland. So I remember during COVID, when I had a frozen yogurt store, that actually people had COVID and they just didn't know it. And they told me that, hey, the food is bland. So I was like, okay, my food is bland. I don't even make it because I buy it pre-made from a distributor, and I just pour it in the machine and it makes it to a frozen yogurt. So I don't know what that is. So then let's see what they say. Changes. Some say are you okay? Some say that they stopped going to Wendy's after the chain made significant changes to their menu. I remember that their menu used to be simple. It used to be simple. You got like a double, a single, or a triple. And then all of a sudden, you're like, hey, this is why I go there. It's nice. So let's keep it rolling. But now you're seeing yeah. You want to say hi? Say hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good.
Are you all the way down there? Are you allowed to go all that way out?
Yeah, I can go all the way to the side.
So once the menu got changed, and it's like they changed it to all these fancy things where it's like, oh my gosh, you can have all these crazy options. It makes people indecisive. It makes people not knowing where and what you want to do. And so then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, the simplicity just left, and they come out with all these other ones where it's like a gazillion combinations. And I think that's starting to hurt people, because when you're looking at the In-N-Out place, when you're looking at In-N-Out, they have like three things you can order, and then there's like a little customization with their secret menu. And I think that's the way to go. And when you look at movie shows and you're looking at Gordon Ramsay, who's like an amazing chef who can save restaurants, he always says, make it simple, stupid. Don't go out and reinvent everything, and don't have like the Cheesecake Factory, like a Bible with a menu items, because it shuts down the kitchen. Just get your thing and just do that. So get your small amount of items that you're gonna master. And once you master those, people will come back because they're like, oh, I want a good hamburger. I want something that is phenomenal, just like that. And then that's where they go. And that are the small little changes you gotta do. And then it's like, it's never frozen. And you start running ads and you start saving the brand when you're gonna say stuff like, gonna do this, gonna do that. And when I mean like gonna do this, gonna do that, what I'm talking about is, I'm talking about having real juicy hamburgers, having real juicy fries, and start making videos about that and saying, hey, this is how we can save it. But if you're not gonna start doing that, then all of a sudden you're gonna be in trouble, because it's just not gonna be good. So with all this talk, let's go see how it actually comes out and how the burgers are. So let's get in the car and get a burger.
Thank you for choosing my Wendy's. Would you like to try this spicy chicken sandwich combo?
I don't know. What's the most popular item you guys got?
The number one.
Yeah, like the most popular thing.
That would be the number one.
That'd be number one?
Mm-hmm.
Dave single? Okay, I'll try that. Yeah.
What's your drink?
I'll do a Coke. Why not?
Okay.
That's it?
11.
Hi.
17.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thanks. Man, she threw that stuff at me. Holy shit. She threw that shit at me. Man. Man, oh man, oh man. So, drive-through customer experience, not that great, tell you right now. So, let's see how it is. So, I'm now parked, and after she almost tossed the food at me and just like slammed it out. I know people have a stress, but there's nobody here, so there's no need to be rude. So, let's see what I got. It was $11. So, got the fries. Looks pretty decent. Pretty decent. Let's see. Super oily though. Super oily. Not gonna eat those. Now, let's look at number one. Doesn't look too bad. As you can see, it doesn't look too bad. Let's taste it. Not too bad, but not too great. I don't know if this is cooked all the way, because the inside isn't hot. So the meat patty isn't really hot. Let me take another bite. I don't know if that was cooked all the way or not. I'm definitely not gonna finish eating it, but yeah, this just shows you customer service. And I don't know if it was hot, but it should be kind of warm when you get it out. And I don't know if it was underneath the heater or what was going on. So yeah, this was my experience at Wendy's. And let me know what you guys think. Love to get your feedback on it. So let me know in the comments below. So $12 for this whole experience wasn't great, and I'm gonna tell you why. So I looked at the reviews a little bit more when I got home, and I saw that there's a lot of people have the same complaints as I do. And one thing that's funny is when you're starting off, and I noticed this about myself too, is when you're starting off and you get negative feedback, or you get somebody that's not happy with you as a person, at least in my world, I always thought this was a personal attack against me. Now I'm growing older, I'm starting to realize how valuable actually feedback is. And if it's honest and negative feedback for your business, that is even more precious than anything else, because that's how you can improve your customer service. That's how you can improve. And I think a lot of people don't value that. They see that these people leave these long reviews about their experience. And then what you got to do is you got to actually take that and put it into a database and say, hey, let's make a list of all these items and categorize them and make sure that this location or all these locations do not have a similar issue. So it's almost like you need to hire somebody that will go through and filter out these reviews. And somebody in the comment section brought up a really, really good point. They said that once how these big corporations, they probably come with a math equation, and once they've started analyzing everything, they come up with a pretty decent solution. So now you got to put all these reviews in, you got to categorize them, label them, and see what your industry has a problem for or what your store has problems for. So you look at cold food, right? That review that I would have put on there, we give them like a 3 stars, that the cooler was full, the food was cold, so probably wouldn't go back. So then you put that into a database and you see how many stores do we have that have an issue with cold food. And if we have a bunch of reviews that have cold food, we need to send out people to actually monitor that. And you can now do task rabbits, and you can do all these crazy things. You can say, hey, let's pay some people to go there and measure how hot and how cold the food is. And I know they sometimes warm it and just keep them in the trays and all that, but sometimes you start figuring out, oh, we do have a problem, and then you realize it and you can do something about it. But when these people leave all these feedbacks on your page and then they're like, hey, that's not good, then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, we have a serious, serious issue. So this is just some food for thought. I'm not an expert at building Fortune 500 companies or Fortune whatever they are, because they're huge, huge corporations. So yeah, this was just my experience. Maybe this was a one-off. You always have to, once you get to learn about statistics, you know that this might have been a one-off. Maybe she had a bad day. But according to reviews, that is more than the norm than the exception. So yeah, the store's nice inside. I looked inside, isn't bad at all. But customer service, bah. So would I go back? Definitely not. And yeah, it's just crazy, crazy, crazy how these big companies can allow to have such horrible, horrible customer service and experiences. Because I tell you one thing, at one time, you're gonna get burnt. At one time, people are just fed up. And then you're gonna see that they'll stop going to your spot. So if you haven't, please like and subscribe. And if you're looking for a job, follow me. Let's connect on LinkedIn. And love to chat with you guys. And I really, really appreciate it. Still in Florida, heading back to Vegas on Saturday. So gotta go back home. I'm done traveling, saw some stuff around here. And yeah, there's another hurricane coming. I don't know where it's gonna land, but it's gonna rain for, I think, 3 days. So crazy, crazy, crazy. In Vegas, it's also super cold. So I'm like, oh my gosh, gotta wear a jacket again. What is that like for 4 or 5 months? So yeah, this is it. Let me know what other stuff I should do. Shoot me an email in the about sections. I love you guys. Talk to you next time.